You're listening to Angel and the Advocate, a podcast with licensed contractor Angel Chavez and California licensed attorney and advocate Amir Afsar.
All right, so welcome to Angel and the Advocate podcast. I am the Advocate. This guy over here is still the Angel. No, just Angel.
Just Angel.
Just Angel. I like how we said that in sync right there. That was impressive. All right, so we were going to talk about other things, but we decided we're going to talk about, I think last week's episode was fantastic because it talked about, things you could actually use. And then our lovely producer over here decided to mention that he's returning to school. Hit the cheers button. There you go. Do we? So he's going back to school for that right there. That is going. Angel and the Advocate off the rails early in this episode. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, the moral of the story is that my man here is going back to school, and we thought we could give some tips for getting with it back to school. Well, the first thing I should talk about is that I have a couple kids heading back to 7th and 8th grade. I think they're in like day 2 of their 7th and 8th grade campaigns. I have them thinking that they might get straight A's. It's always a good thing to use some incentive-based program, if you ask me. Like, there's parents out there that are like, if you don't get A's, I will take away.
Are you super strict with them?
Yes. I mean, I don't know. It depends what you describe as super strict, right? I mean, I like to think that I'm a, fun dad, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, definitely want to see them get good grades. You don't become a lawyer, the son of a physician, a doctor, without getting good grades. She didn't become a doctor without her grades. I didn't become a lawyer without my grades. Quite frankly, I think I've said it before. I think that growing up and seeing my mother, the physician, in her existence, in her workplace, doing what doctors do, is a lot of how I learned the level of work that be necessary to get to where I am. So I try to set that same example. I'll go straight to it. One of the things my parents used to kind of say to me is straight A's. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey to straight A's. And so the first day of school is the first step on the journey to straight A's. So I lifted that and used it on my kids, I don't know if that's really what motivates them. I think it's usually, like I said, you can take things away if you're going to do poorly, but I think that's usually not a good way of doing things. I prefer to do the incentive program. So if you bring me an A, I'll give you like $5. I don't know, whatever. My youngest is super into cosplay. So I basically said, you bring
Comic-Con?
Yeah, whatever. Just those kind of anime looking like outfits or whatever, like to dress up as it. And so I said, you bring me straight A's, and assuming it's appropriate, I'm willing to buy you, a cosplay outfit. And now she's like, all right, where do I start reading? So I think that kind of incentive program works pretty well. I don't know. Brian's a little older. I don't know if that incentive program would work the same for him. But if there's this movie called Major League. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie. Have you seen Major League?
I feel like when I was younger, but I don't.
All right, so Major League is a movie about the Cleveland Indians and their road to become champions. At the time, and I'm just kind of cutting to the part that I want to talk about here. There's a lot of other little side stories, but they need to win a certain number of games in order to qualify for the playoffs, right? And so they get a cutout of the, I don't even know exactly what her role is, but it's a female. I think she's like the president of the baseball operations or something. And every time they win a game, they peel an article of clothing off of the mannequin, right? And so that creates an incentive for the team, like, hey, we got to win games. You get a stripper naked. So I don't know if Brian's got a lady in his life or something like that. Maybe he's turning red right now, but I don't know if there's some kind of way that we could create a, incentive of that inkling, but that's the kind of incentive based program that I think works.
If Brian gets straight A's, he gets his own microphone.
Oh, take it easy. I don't know about that. I'm going to say
Brian can.
So was he in school last year or was he? No, he wasn't. So
he took a gap year.
He took a gap year, which earlier I heard you give him a hard time saying that a year off is called a gap year for the privileged.
Yeah.
Which is just funny if you ask me. But no, I mean, I teach a class. I know Brian's headed to COD, College of the Desert. I teach a class sometimes. I mean, I say sometimes because it's like only when they need me. But I teach a class over at Cal State University San Bernardino Palm Desert campus, CSUSB at PDC. Wow.
I heard rumors about them wanting to start universities. That never happened.
Yeah, no, I mean, the rumors are true, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I mean, I don't really keep up with all that stuff because I teach like one class. Obviously, the whole law gig is what I really do. And then I teach that one class. But I mean, I kind of use some of these motivational things on the students as well, especially when it comes to the test. I always try to remind students, hey, look, no matter what happens in your life, like this is just 45 minutes to show off what you know. Right? Like if it's a 45-minute test, right? So this is just time for you to show off what you know. If your life is crappy, these 45 minutes are probably not going to change that. And if your life is fantastic, well, I guess it could potentially change it. But generally speaking, like, it's just 45 minutes to show what you know. It should not dictate your overall attitude and in your existence and everything that you do. You can still be a great son, a wonderful daughter, and have gotten like a bad grade on this test. All that means is you need to study harder for the test, right?
How do you deal with like students who don't try as hard, or how do you get a student that's a bad student and motivate them to take things more serious?
That's a tough question. I think for most people, generally, I teach at the university level, so I try not to do too much of that. I mean, I don't know if that's the right answer or not, but I think that you need to be self-motivated by the time you're at university. At the university level, you're paying to be there, right? So it's not like you're being forced to go anymore. It's not the same thing. You're choosing. You've made the choice to be there. You're putting your money into it. So if you want to like not pay attention, not be involved, not do the assignments, not learn anything, well, you're just lighting your own money on fire. You're allowed to pay for a movie theater ticket, go to the movie, and sleep throughout the movie. You're allowed to do that. And so I don't really worry about that in my class either, right? At the same time, I think generally speaking, my goal is to try to have everybody be interested. I try to just remind them that they're choosing to be here. They're not forced to be there. And if you're choosing to be here, well, let's get the most out of it as possible, right? And that's generally, I mean, I try to tell people that's how you should be looking at everything, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you have to do the dishes, you have to do the dishes. You might as well put on music you like and start scrubbing. Because if you're going to be angry about it, guess what you're still doing?
Dishes.
The dishes, right? Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, it's not always roses. I get in bad moods like everybody else does. Like, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to like education, things like that, especially someone like Brian's age going to COD, it is 100% choice. So if you're choosing to do it, choose to do it well. Yeah. Like, don't sign up and pay your hard-earned money if you're not going to try to actually better yourself as much as possible. Because, like, you know, I always kind of like to round it off by saying, if you know, there's sharks out there that are just waiting to eat your lunch. So if you just like half-assed it to get the diploma, you're just going to be half-assed with a diploma.
What about C's get degrees? Do you believe in that?
I do. That is a true statement.
Depends on what you're trying to do.
It is a true statement. Do I believe in it? It is a true statement. It is. I generally speaking do believe that people who are great at what they do are compensated accordingly. Yeah. Right? Like the people that are phenomenal sports, basketball, baseball players, whatever it is, they are compensated accordingly. People who are phenomenal pizza makers, people who are phenomenal businessmen, entrepreneurs, people who are phenomenal with technology, they're compensated accordingly. People who are phenomenal at picking stocks, compensated accordingly. People who are phenomenal at being physicians, incredible at delivering babies or helping with, you know, victims of heart attacks or people that need prosthetics, they are compensated accordingly. So C's get degrees, sure, but you'll be compensated accordingly.
Wow. Damn, I gotta send that clip to people. Clip that.
Oh, he said something good. No, but like the truth of it is.
No, it's because like, well, growing up, a lot of people say that shit. Like, oh, C's get degrees because, you know, I come from people that just graduated from college-ish.
Look, that's not the reason. The reason they say that is because to them, let's say they never went to college. So, hey, they're just trying to tell you, just get through it, bro. Don't give up. Don't quit. They're just saying it in a kind of a weird way to say it, right? Yeah. But the root of the statement is like they didn't get that opportunity or they were never in college, so they're just trying to get you through it. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to get A's that you drop out completely.
Okay.
And that's generally because they don't have the minds that they didn't go to that college. I mean, there could be a number of reasons, so I gotta take it easy here. But, you know, if they didn't do it because of academic reasons, well, they didn't have the wherewithal. Their mindset isn't necessarily correct for excelling at school. And again, I do think there is the capability to be not great at school and still be an amazing entrepreneur, and still be an amazing, you know, you could be a very successful person without like a college degree necessarily, right? But if you're going to pay money, like we're talking about Brian, again, if you're going to be actively pursuing it, if you're going to put your money towards it, then go for it. Like actually go for it. The C's do get degrees. If your goal is just to put the degree on the wall, then C's get degrees and hang that thing and be proud of it. But if your goal is to be like the greatest of all time, right? To be like as good as possible, maybe even just the greatest in the Coachella Valley, right? Maybe not even go all time. Then you're going to need to do better than C's get degrees, because that kind of average mentality is not matching with greatest of the Coachella Valley, right? Yeah. And so, I mean, I think generally speaking, it's just a matter of reminding you that it's not high school. Your parents are in the room making you go. Some people still live at home, so they feel like it's the same, but it's definitely not. You're paying, you're choosing. You could be using your time to collect money by doing work at a $18, $15, $25 an hour job, but instead you're paying outwardly, you're paying per unit to be here in school, so treat it like a job. You're paying for it. Like imagine if you go to any restaurant and you pay for the food and they just bring you a bunch of stuff for you to cook yourself, other than those Korean places where you expect it, right? Like you'd be like, hey, what am I paying for? Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're coming to class and just, sitting there texting your friend the whole time or playing, pool or whatever kind of apps, right? Then what are you paying for? You could just sit on your toilet and play on that same app. You don't need to come and pay for school
money,
for this.
waste your time.
Yeah,
gas.
Absolutely. So like another great fun. I mean, I know you want me to give you little nuggets that you can splice together into, gems of wisdom. I don't know if I have that, but what I do have is I tell people, grades are given, but A's are earned. Like I definitely tell people, I think it's I think it takes the same level of commitment to get an A in a class as it does to get an F in a class. Like to get the A, you have to do everything. To get the F, you have to do nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you have to have that commitment to it. So like I said, it's a journey to get an A, and today or the first day of school is the first step in that journey. It's a good way to look at it. It's also a good analogy because if you have a bad day, forget to turn in one assignment, fail one pop quiz, it's like falling down. You just get yourself back up and keep on that journey. Right. There's a lot of these cheesy sayings thanks to the internet. You got to shoot for the moon so you land on the stars, like things like that. Right. But the goal should always be to be just, improving yourself. So I imagine if Brian's going to, if he's going to college to learn how to use the Rodecaster Pro, that would be great because then we wouldn't have to wait so long for the little applause button. Can I get it one more time right now? Just pop quiz. Nice. Nice.
Bullying works.
Bullying works. It's not about bullying. It's about keeping the guy on his toes. But I'm just saying, if you're going there to actually improve yourself, then yeah, pay attention. You know what I mean? Like try to actually improve yourself. Look at it as an opportunity to improve yourself. A test is an opportunity for you to show what you know. It's the teacher's not testing you. The teacher is giving you this opportunity to display your knowledge. It's all about mindset, flipping it around. Like don't be the victim of school. Be in command of it. Like I don't have to do homework. I get to read about, Yeah,
just taking it every day because some days it's once you're off school and you're working, like you were saying, once you're making money or hustling to do your own thing, it's like not everything's going to go your way, but then you just move. You just, whatever you're doing and whatever you could control that day, just do the best of it.
Why are you going to school?
Why?
Why are you going to school? Why are you going to school?
To learn.
To learn.
Yeah.
So then why aren't you learning? Like not reading the assignment, like that's not learning.
No, but I was saying even just like failed tests and stuff. Like if something goes wrong,
but
you could have.
But if you're failing the test, like I said earlier, I do believe that there's like some commitment to failing, right?
Yeah.
You're committing to not doing the work the same way the A student is committing to doing every single thing. Right. So all I'm trying to say is at the point where you're in college and you're paying outwardly money for it, how could you not be striving for straight A's? I get it. The kid that's forced to go to 7th grade, like my youngest, who like wakes up every morning, like I hate this so much, school, whatever, right? Maybe they don't like their friends or don't have friends or get bullied or what have you. They still have to go. They have to go. They have to go. They don't have a choice. No one's saying, hey, do you want to go? No one's asking my 7th grader. I know she wishes, right? No one's asked her if she wants to go. She's told when the first day is. She's told when to get up, what her uniform is. I mean, she has to follow the rules because she's just a 7th grader. But my man Brian over there, who knows where the applause button is on the Rodecaster Pro now, he is choosing. He's making that choice to go to school. No one's making him go. He doesn't have to go. He gets to go. It's all about that mentality switch. He doesn't have to go anymore. He's choosing to go. He gets to go. He has the opportunity in front of him to make himself better at whatever it is he's choosing to study. He has the opportunity to learn from people who know how to do the things that he hopes to one day be great at. Or I got a bunch of homework, the shit I got to read.
Yeah.
It's all about how you look at it. But at the point where you're in college, quite frankly, I really truly believe if you're not looking at it as the opportunity in front of you, then don't pay for it. Because when I go to when I go to a taco shop or 760, right? It's the opportunity to eat those tacos, baby. I'm putting money out there for the opportunity to eat those tacos. I'm not getting those tacos, staring at them and throwing them in the trash, ignoring them, sleeping through it, right? You get what I'm saying? Like when I get the doggy bag to go, I actually go home and I eat them at home. I don't go like, oh God, homework. I have to eat this at home, right? I get to eat this at home. And what's interesting, I mean, look, Again, it's not all perfect days and sunny skies. But when I was in law school and I was getting assigned like 200 pages of reading a night, One of the only ways I got through it was a fear of God, of making a fool out of myself, getting called on, not knowing the answers, getting bad grades, letting expectations be down. Okay, sure. Everybody has that kind of what I'll call the fear factor. But the other part of me was like, I have the opportunity to read the decisions that are what this country is founded upon. That sounds kind of cool to me. Like my parents gave up every opportunity that they had to come to the United States because they thought there was a better opportunity here. And now here I am learning about the foundational principles that make this country what it is. Now you could play like, sweet romantic Americana music in the background, my country 'tis, right? It's like, hooray, America, hooray, right? But at the same time, like, that is what I was learning. But now that I have that education, I can utilize it to make things better for people that I care about, to make things better for my clients, to make opportunities that I think should exist come to fruition, right? Whether it's like volunteering with like the Children's Discovery Museum of the Desert. Like I've been a volunteer on their board for years. Like I think that's a good resource out here. The kids need something to do. It's a great opportunity for them. So, someone like yourself, like I see you have the drive to do this whole other thing that has nothing to do with your tile business. I could talk to you about tile businesses and contractors licenses and, how to get paid with a mechanic's lien till I'm blue in the face. But I could tell you're more passionate about this Desert Underground thing. So we spend more of our time talking about that.
Yeah.
See what I'm trying to say? But that doesn't make it your job. Your job is still the tile job. And just because maybe school's not your favorite thing, it's still part of your job. So to me, your job is to get A's. I guess I'll let you slide with some B's, but your job is to get A's. Your job is not to be average. C's are average. C's get degrees or whatever. Yeah, sure, great. But is that what you want? You want to be the most average? You want to hit the wrong roadcaster button? The average guy hits the wrong roadcaster button. Because if you put me over there, I'd hit the wrong one. I would definitely would. Right? I mean, I kind of joke around all the time. And whenever I see like a amazing play, like for me, it's tennis, right? Because I watch a lot of tennis. I play tennis, but I'm not nearly the level of a professional tennis player. When I see them hit an amazing shot and I'm like, dude, why can't I just hit that ball one time? I then think in my head, I want to see that guy in court. I want to see what that guy can do in court. I want to see if he knows when to object. I want to see what that guy can do on a podcast, right? I mean, podcast might be easy, but I want to see what he can do in court. I spend my time in the courtroom. You spend your time on the tennis court. You better be a damn good tennis player, right?
Yeah, my dad used to get mad watching soccer. He'd be like, how could they miss that shot? Like, that's all they do for a living.
That's all they do.
Like, and then you'd be like, yeah, if we're laying tile, like, I'm going to, like, fucking set the tile or whatever. But, like, these dudes get paid for a living. They miss an open shot.
It's absolutely the truth. And remember, you get what you pay for when you choose to get what you pay for.
If you could go back in time, or no, not you, because
go back in time. No, let's go for it. If you could go back in time.
No. Like back before Hawaii was taken over.
Here we go. All right, if you go back in time, let's hear the question.
There's a lot of kids, like a lot of people struggle with going to college, but they don't even know what they want to major on. Like they just start in school, they have a few units, but they're like, you know what, I'll figure it out later. Like what advice would you give somebody who's just indecisive on their major or what they want to do in life?
No, you're good. Figure it out later. You're good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I mean, look, you're going to know what classes you like, take more of the classes that you like, take less of the classes that you don't like, and then find out what careers, what paths use the skills in the classes that you like. Until you start taking a bunch of classes to figure out what you like and don't like, I don't have an answer for you. But you should never be paralyzed by the indecision. Go forward. Keep marching forward. Pathways will appear to you and you will choose to go left or right. It might not be the right pathway. You'll go left for a little bit. You walk down and go, ooh, I don't think I like this. You'll go backwards. You go back to where you were. Then you'll choose the other path. But in other words, you can start over, right? I mean, you have opportunity in front of you. If you don't know what you want to do for sure, just keep marching forward. Keep trying. Don't be, don't know, what do they call that? Paralysis by analysis. You ever heard that?
Yeah.
Don't let yourself be frozen up because you don't know what to do. Now, at the same time, if you're not sure you want to be a lawyer or not sure you want to be a doctor, maybe don't leap into law school or medical school. Maybe at that kind of decision point, you can get an internship and get a little taste of it and see if it's something you want to do. But for most people, by the time they're at that stage, they do know they want to do that, right? But if you're like a high school kid out there and you're not sure what you want to do in college, just don't declare a major and get out there. Just get out there. Right?
What about those A students that they lost their passion to what they were going to do, and now they're watching Gary Vee telling, hey, you don't need to go to college, just follow your passion, selling Smurf merchandise for fucking $30,000.
Gary Vee is not the answer for everybody. Gary's the answer for some people. Grant Cardone is not the answer for everybody. He's the answer for some people.
Andrew Tate,
yeah,
the answer
Andrew
for
Tate,
everybody.
yeah,
he's the answer.
He's the answer, unless you're a woman. And then Jake, Logan, those guys, they're not the answer. Look, no one's the answer for everybody. So what do I say to those people? Find your own answer. Follow your own heart. What's in your heart? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to go? Or are you going because you feel like you have to go? You should be choosing to go. By the time you're done with high school,
going
you're
back to choosing.
Yeah, you're choosing. And if you're choosing it, then go there and dominate it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like earlier I said, if you're doing the dishes, you could do the dishes happy or you could be mad, but either way, you're still doing the dishes. So you can go to school and hate it, or you can go to school and make the best of it. This is the kind of thing I tell my little kids, right? You can go to school and hate it, or you can go to school and make the best of it. Either way, you're going to school. And if you're going to school, you're going to get some work to do. And you can either, hate doing the work or you could love doing the work. Either way, you're going to do the work. So it's the same kind of thing. Like to that kid who doesn't know what they're doing. I mean, I don't know if you need a gap year or a year off. I'm not really sure. I don't have the answers specifically for what they need to do. But I will tell you what they do need to do is analyze what they like. Start to take a hard look at themselves, right? When no one's around, what do you enjoy? Not when outside pressures are on you, what do you enjoy? Like, of course, everyone's parents want them to be like doctors or lawyers or accountants or whatever. But like, not everybody wants to count beans, accountants. Not everybody wants to cut people's flesh open, doctors, right? Not everybody wants to speak publicly, talk about people's problems, whatever, for the lawyers, right? So you have to figure out what you want to do by doing a little bit of everything and then following the path that seems most enticing and attractive to you. But if you hate school, going to college is probably not going to make you like school.
Yeah.
If you like school, pursuing it's probably a better idea than if you hate it. I mean, it's only confusing and difficult because you're letting a lot of outside sources have so much say in the decision when you need to make the decision yourself.
Perfect.
It's not perfect.
It's not perfect.
It's not perfect. You know why it's not perfect? Because it's not going to work for everybody. There is not an answer for this question. It's different for everybody. Like I was lucky that I kind of knew I wanted to be a lawyer at a young age. I used to jokingly say, I think I was like 11 or 12, that I either wanted to be the judge on the people's court or the man on the back of the trash can, on the back of the trash truck. So like back in the day when the trash truck used to come, I mean, like I'm really aging myself. The gray hairs are showing. Back in the day when the trash truck used to come, there were two men on the trash truck. There was the driver, who I imagine was like the premium spot, sitting down inside, air conditioned, radio on, right, driving. And then there was a guy that used to hang off the back of the truck and literally would grab the trash and dump it in and then leave, because you used to have to put your trash on the curb, and the trash truck would come by and the guy would grab it with his arm and throw it in. Now there's a machine that grabs it, right?
Yeah.
A hydraulic machine. So back in the day there was actually a guy, and I thought that guy had the sweetest job because he hung off the back of the truck, like no seatbelt, no helmet, like just chilling. And then he would slap the side of the truck and the guy would go to the next house, he'd dump it in, slap the truck, go to the next house. I don't know, I just thought it was cool. Either that or the judge on the people's court. So as my dad famously said, rest in peace, Pops, as he famously said when I finished law school, thank God I went towards the people's court and not the back of the church. Especially because that job's not there anymore, Angel.
Oh, shit.
It's completely gone by the hydraulic lift, the little thing that grabs and
could have been the guy who designed the hydraulic lift.
Definitely not. If you know anything about the things I design, I could definitely not. But the moral of the story is you follow the things that you like. I knew the things that I liked. I continued to follow them. I wasn't so sure I'd actually make it through law school. I wasn't so sure I'd actually pass the bar, and I wasn't so sure I'd be successful in my own practice. And here I am. I'm the advocate on Angel the Advocate. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for listening to this Angel and the Advocate podcast. If you have any questions, submit them in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.